Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Rishi Harinan and this is the C News Report at noon. Topping the news at this time, there is no injunction or court order preventing property owners from submitting valuation return forms on a voluntary basis. This follows questions raised on Tuesday shortly after the ministry issued a statement saying people are free to submit their VRF if they want. In a statement today, Minister of Finance Carmona also noted no injunction or order has been granted restraining the staff of the Valuations Division of the Ministry of Finance from accepting and processing such forms and issuing receipts for same. Further, he said no injunction or court order has been granted placing on hold or staying the Valuation of Land Act or the Property Tax Act. There should be one port authority for Trinidad and a separate one for Tobago. That's the opinion of Minority Leader of the Tobago House of Assembly, Watson Duke, who says the present structure is failing citizens, especially Tobagonians. Mr. Duke was speaking with members of the media outside the ferry terminal in Port of Spain.
Let's separate the and. The Port Authority for Trinidad and Tobago doesn't work. The Airport Authority for Trinidad and Tobago doesn't work. Let's leave out the and. Let's have Port Authority for Tobago, Port Authority for Trinidad, Airport Authority for Tobago, Airport Authority for Trinidad.
He is also making some serious accusations regarding the MV La Caracola vessel, which was said to be coming to these shores to alleviate the sea bridge issues.
Based on my Venezuela informants, I have informants in Venezuela, they told me the boat was being prepared to come to Trinidad and it was seized by Guardia Nacional, if I pronounce it right. They seized the boat because upon inspection, the local agent had no documentation for the boat.
He called on businessman Dale McLeod, who sourced the vessel, to produce proof of its suitability.
To come forward and produce your papers to Trinidad and Tobago. Produce your safety papers, produce your license to carry passengers, produce your license to carry those vehicles, produce every single thing that is necessary.
Well, the new vessels to be used to transport goods and people between Trinidad and Tobago should be here in about a month. Minister of Works and Transport Rohan Sinanan said the board of the Port Authority was in a meeting up to 11 o'clock last night and they decided which two vessels they would be using. It is now for the paperwork to start.
A week to 2 weeks we should have all the documents sorted out, and probably it will take like 2 weeks after that to have the vessels here. So once we have that vessel here, then we can take the vessels and put them into dry dock.
Okay.
And have them completely overhauled so that we would, with this problem of this constant breaking down. Yeah. At least that'll be one aspect of it.
And the minister said the two new vessels will help alleviate the ongoing challenges with transportation between Trinidad and Tobago.
The plan going forward is basically to bring in a fast ferry so that we can take these two vessels, send them on dry dock and have a comprehensive overhaul of the two vessels. The two vessels are due for dry dock for a while.
Vessels, once successfully acquired, will be rented for 6 months and will transport both cargo and people. The barge and Atlantic provider will be released once this is done. He said while the officials are working to address the issue, it is not one that can be easily solved.
The vessel is not something that you can just go into a store and take in any yard where they rent vessels and you pull it out. It's something that you have to look at to see what is available at that time. And normally vessels take 3 months, 6 months to get. This is why immediately the port looked around to see what was available, because remember this vessel left our shores with very, very short notice.
He said in the long term, the plan is to secure a vessel for a further 3-year period and ultimately purchase a vessel of our own. Some other news now. One man is dead and another injured following a shooting incident in Tobago. The deceased has been identified as Dexter Providence. The injured man is yet to be identified. Reports say the bullet-riddled bodies of the men were found at around 1 a.m. along the Mason Hall-Lekoto Link Road. This is the C News Live report at noon. Remember, you can keep up to date with all the latest news on our website at ctvtt.com, or you can check out our Facebook and Twitter pages at C News Live. Parents of students attending the Chatham Government Primary School protested this morning, calling for their school to be opened. The Public Relations Officer of the school's PTA, Anet Mohammed, told us the structure is 90% complete. However, no work has been done on it for some time now, despite an assurance that the school would have been opened in February.
Of all the names that will take priority, Chatham was on that list, and monies were allocated to the EFCL to have those projects completed. But up to now, we haven't had any kind of correspondence from the relevant authorities. The contractor said he has not gotten any correspondence. So this is our plight. We need our school because we have 150 children out in a school that is supposed to cater for 50 preschool students.
Well, this is not the first time these teachers are protesting. The issue has gone unaddressed for about 2 years.
We have protested about 3 to 4 times. That is how we end up going to Port of Spain and speaking with Mr. Garcia. And he gave us directives that, the problem was going to be solved because we need our school. We need our school. Our children is under terrible, terrible conditions.
We did try to get in contact with the Minister of Education. However, we were told he was in a meeting. Well, there was also a protest at the Brazil Village Secondary School this morning. Parents say their children are going to school, but teachers are not going to classes.
No classes from 1 to 12 has locked. The children are out of classes. There are no teachers teaching the classes since a month now. Right? Children are going to school and no classes are being done. Teachers are in cold breeze and the children in the hot sun. Right? It is unfair to our parents to send our children and we're not getting no results.
Ms. Gomez told us this has been going on for about a month.
We spoke to the principal and she said there's nothing she could do about it. She can't do anything about it. She's waiting on the ministry. Now they had bat infested and bird infested into the school, and since that had happened, it hadn't have no classes.
The news was informed teachers began leaving the school just after 10 o'clock this morning. Well, the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association said it visited the school on Tuesday to address several concerns facing the teachers as well as the students, one of which was the pigeon infestation at the facility. TUTA's second vice president explained what's taking place.
If you don't have a clean classroom and you are placed with poop falling on you, and I have sent to the ministry photographs of the areas that I had toured where there was visible poop on desks, on tables in labs, air-conditioned labs. That is what is there. People having to cover apparatus in the lab with plastic because they have pigeon dropping on it. So you can't expect teachers or students to work in such an environment.
Right. She said the place is not healthy according to OSH standards.
TUTA advised them to fill out a form on the grounds of occupational health and safety and remove themselves, which would give the ministry an opportunity to come in and properly clean the classrooms and the buildings so that they can go back in and occupy it.
Mostly hazy and at times breezy with the chance of brisk showers favoring hilly and western areas of Trinidad. Seas are normal, occasionally moderate, waves 2 and occasionally 2.5 meters in open water with 1 meter in sheltered areas. The community comfort patrols will not be reintroduced. However, the minister in the Ministry of National Security, Dennis Moses, says other measures are being put in place to ensure citizens are safe.
The initiatives being pursued to address this issue is the increase in the complement of municipal police officers across regional and borough corporations. The existing capacity is expected to be supplemented with an additional 800 officers. The responsibility of these officers, similar to that of the officers under the CCP program, will be to focus on community safety and security.
He said this will help the police officers.
The strengthening of the municipal police capacity will support the overall policing agenda by making available some of those officers who will have been engaged in community patrols to focus more closely on core policing activities like the investigation of offences.
Minister Moses was speaking in the Senate on Tuesday. The entire ocean where people bathe is not polluted, and the statements made in a recent Institute of Marine Affairs report must be put into context. It was recently reported that several of the popular beaches across the country are not clean, and if people bathe in the water, they may become ill. The Deputy Director of the IMA, Rihanna Juman, spoke on Good Morning Trinidad and Tobago and explained.
For instance, Maitre is a beach that we have always used as sort of a area that we would check against, a control point. Because of the type of beach it is, and it's on the north coast, it's high energy, there's a lot of wave action, you don't really have a problem. Whereas on the other side, which is Williams Bay, Shackville, because of the nature of the beach, it's a very sheltered area, there's little circulation, things remain there longer, you would have a bigger problem.
Well, arguably the most popular beach in Trinidad is Maracas. Ms. Juman said the entire bathing area is not polluted. She advised against bathing close to river mouths.
At Maracas, we have done work on Maracas. The eastern side of Maracas is very good. The western side of Maracas, of course, you have the river coming in and you have a sort of unplanned community, right? So you would have problems on that side. The other side is good. Las Cuevas is a blue flag beach. Part of Las Cuevas is a blue flag beach, and that is an international certification. So the water quality there again is good.
Jacqueline Bernadette Wilson, a retired permanent secretary, and Brenda Janice Maitre, a retired nurse, will be given an award by President Anthony Carmona. They will receive the Mini National Award tomorrow. Ms. Nelson will receive the Public Service Medal of Merit, and Ms. Maitre will be awarded the Hummingbird Medal Gold for community service. Nirvan Maraj, the President General of the All Trinidad General Workers Trade Union, is said to be recovering well after undergoing open heart surgery. The surgery went well, and the union's first Vice President, John Jacqueline, said he knows Mr. Maraj is a true warrior and soldier and would like to wish him a speedy recovery. Sport is up next. As Trinidad and Tobago prepares to host the region at the end of June with the staging of the CC-CAN Championships, the Amateur Swimming Association of Trinidad and Tobago received a major financial boost from the Ministry of Sport and the Sport Company. The swimming body received a check of the tune of $1 million to ensure that the much-anticipated event comes off and is a huge success. Liran Brommel tells us more.
It's the kind of assistance most NGOs dream of, and when the Swimming Association was presented with $1 million check to help stage the CC-CAN Championships, it came after careful consideration.
Cleaned up the sport, they're working very closely with us, and they're going to have a good target market. It's going to have a lot of radio, TV, newspaper coverage, not just in Trinidad but the region, Latin America, the Caribbean and so on, and I think it's a great opportunity for local organizations to come aboard for our young people.
He was quick to call on corporate TNT to come on board and assist in ensuring the event was successful, as it carries a much larger role for all of TNT.
And as part of our tourism drive, we partnered with ASAT, and we're very proud and pleased that ASAT went out and put out a fantastic bid to win this tournament here in Trinidad and Tobago, where we're going to have as much as 28 countries, 1,000 athletes. With that, we anticipate 1,000 to 2,000 coaches, parents, family members and so on coming to our shores.
It's something not lost on the President of the Swimming Association, who is excited about the numbers who will be visiting our shores for this event, given the added significance it now holds.
We wrote to FINA, we got approval for this meet to be a World Seniors qualifier, and the advantage in that is the last qualifier for World Seniors. So we are also expecting athletes outside of the CC-CAN region to come in to try to qualify, because once it's a FINA meet, you could come and swim. Our pool is world standard, so they won't have a problem in taking our times. In addition, what I've been able to do, we are able to get 4 clinics, Minister, where we're going to have a water polo clinic, synchronized clinic, pool clinic, and water polo clinic, because we also need to build the base of officials in Trinidad.
Lai Hing gave some insight into Team TNT, which he says will number over 60 swimmers alone, with the water polo teams added to that number. And among those expected as standouts, Joshua Romani, Kristen Julian, Cheryl Thompson, and Olympian Dylan Carter. TNT will also field 2 divers in the competition, while the open water swim is set for the sister isle of Tobago, which will allow them to showcase what Tobago has to offer. Liran Brummel, C Sports.
Coming to Trinidad and Tobago is the Queen's Battle Relay, which has been the traditional curtain raiser to the Commonwealth Games since the 1958 Games in Cardiff, Wales. It is scheduled to arrive on our shores on Sunday as TNT becomes the first Caribbean country to welcome the Gold Coast 2018 Commonwealth Games Queen's Battle Relay delegation as they arrive from St. Helena, the 19th of its 71 Commonwealth destinations. Australian High Commissioner John Philbin highlighted why the Games are known as the Friendly Games.
It's a great tradition at the Commonwealth Games of simultaneous competition between para-athletes and athletes. Para-athletes and athletes live together in the Games Village. It's one of the things that makes the Commonwealth Games the Friendly Games.
Trinidad and Tobago has participated in 18 Commonwealth Games since its inception, counting 52 medals in total, 8 gold, 20 silver and 28 bronze. President of the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee, Brian Lewis, announced that the battle relay will be concentrated within the capital, Port of Spain and environs, and encouraged members of the public to come out and participate in the festivities.
It's not about running. It will start and finish at opposite BPTT on the Queen's Park Savannah. And we are currently working with the Office of the Commissioner of Police to finalize aspects of the escort for the battle. But the conceptualization is to have it touch the areas such as the Magnificent Seven, Napa, and other iconic aspects of the capital of Port of Spain.
Call it fool's gold, as medals won at last year's Olympic Games in Rio have started fading and causing some athletes to complain about it. According to Rio Games Communications Officer Mario Andrade, the damages are mostly caused by the temperature differences. He also assured everyone that damaged medals will be either repaired or replaced. The medals were originally praised for using recycled items as part of their materials, but by recent stories from athletes all over the world, the innovation might not have been a good idea after all. This medal fiasco cropped up last October, and this adds up to the long list of embarrassment for the Rio Olympics after reports of the decay of the Maracana Stadium and Olympic Aquatic Center. Well, that's it for sport.